This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
Expecting maybe 80 people, organizers say at least 250 joined the Women's March Saturday in Ephrata. A man was sentenced to 8 months in jail for assaulting an Ephrata police officer in 2015. An Oregon veteran was brought to tears after protesters burned the American flag during protests on Friday.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Expecting maybe 80 people, organizers say at least 250 joined the Women's March Saturday in Ephrata. Saturday's march that made its way down Basin Street and to the front of the Grant County Courthouse was one of hundreds of marches worldwide. The march in Ephrata brought men, women, and children from throughout Grant County in solidarity with the Women's March on Washington that drew hundreds of thousands of protesters in Washington, D.C. Marchers in Ephrata met at the train station before heading down Basin Street, many with signs in hand with messages supporting women's rights, health care, equality and diversity, and education, along with many in protest of now President Donald Trump. The worldwide marches came a day after Trump's inauguration. Marches in Seattle and Portland drew more than 100,000 people, and other large cities drew hundreds of thousands, including an estimated 750,000 in Los Angeles. The group in Ephrata eventually gathered outside the courthouse to share messages of support. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News. A man was sentenced to 8 months in jail for assaulting an Ephrata police officer in 2015. 32-year-old Ephrata resident John Rangel pleaded guilty to assault in the third degree. He was initially charged with assault in the second degree, but that charge was dropped as part of a plea agreement. Sergeant Gabe Garcia was responding on December 8, 2015 to reports of a man walking in the middle of Basin Street and found Rangel. The officer tried turning on his siren to get the man's attention, but it didn't work. When the sergeant told Rangel he was under arrest, Rangel reportedly said, "Then shoot me." Garcia tried to use a taser on Rangel, but it didn't work, and a scuffle broke out as Rangel pinned the officer to the ground. As a second officer was pulling Rangel away from Garcia, a nearby resident asked if the officer needed help. When the officer said he did, several people rushed in to help immobilize Rangel. Police noted Rangel appeared to have superhuman strength, common for someone under the influence of drugs. The 5 Ephrata residents who helped were recognized by Ephrata Police Chief Mike Warren for their efforts of likely saving the officer's life. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
Friday night protesters taking a lighter to a symbol many hold so dear. One local veteran,
"I'm truly at a loss for words.
Refused to stay silent.
I don't get emotional, but coming up here right now after seeing the footage of what's happening, it's sickening."
This is a video Eric Post made after those images seared into his memory. Images of a symbol that thousands once wore on their uniforms.
I'm disappointed, and most importantly, I'm ashamed for the people that are buried here.
The Marines' emotional video at the Willamette National Cemetery gained the attention of more than 1 million people across the globe.
There's a lot of people that feel that way. There's no way that just a single guy like me with a 2-minute video can go so viral without it being a message that needs to be told.
A message shared by the thousands. It unified dozens of people who came to the same cemetery Sunday morning to pay their respects and open up a discussion.
The people here that are so passionate about the flag are willing to engage in discussion with people that have frustrations.
While it is legal to burn a flag, Eric is urging protesters to find a platform that he says is less divisive and more respectful.
I'll go get wise one day and realize that the symbol of the flag isn't what you're protesting. That's what gives you the ability to protest. You should cherish that, not burn it.
To any of the protesters that post the argument that the flag is nothing more than a piece of cloth, I challenge them to look the 7-year-old in the eye who just was handed a folded one at a funeral. And that's the last memory they have of their father or their mother.
Cloudy this week. From the iFIBER 1 Weather Center, I'm Jeff Slakey taking a look at the basin's forecast. For Monday, 36 and clouds. Mostly cloudy for Tuesday and the rest of the week. The highs are going to be in the low 30s. The lows are going to be in the low 20s. No real change through the weekend. For iFIBER 1, I'm Jeff Slakey.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.